Yeah, I accidentally stopped the video before. So, lucky you, I'm going to continue. As I was saying, printing kills trees, and killing trees is not, I don't know, if I can avoid it, I would like to. But at the same time, reading articles, like long articles about, constructive film theory and criticism and blah, 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 that's not as fun on the computer as when you have a piece of paper in your hand and you can use a highlighter and go highlight everything and write little notes. And if you get really mad, you can. Well, I've never gotten mad at an article enough to tear it into a little ball, but you could. You can't do that with a computer. You shouldn't. I've had a request from my mother, which reminds me that if any of you, I don't know who you are, but if people are watching this, you can comment on it or ask me to, I don't know, do things. It's like a radio show, but not. I wanted to go and show you what the cathedral looks like right now, because it's really gorgeous, and it's all mist and fog rising up of the small village of Canterbury with, dark skies and drizzling rain, and it's really pretty clear till you get to the forest, and then it's kind of like, mist, and then Gothic cathedral. But my darling internet is, well, I could disconnect and go do it, but I'm too lazy for that, and my internet cord is plugged in here, and I'm really, really, tentative about unplugging it, because I don't want to go through the registration process again. Maybe I wouldn't have to. But I did have a request to look around my room, so as best I can, while remaining plugged in to this wall. I mean, now's not really the best time either, because everything is covered with my laundry. But I can just show you around. That's my bed. That's my window with my pajamas hanging out of it to dry. I have a view of a courtyard. Ooh, it looks much brighter in there than it really is. Let me tell you that courtyard is much darker and much more drizzly in person. Oh yeah, so room, blank walls, that's fun. Laundry scattered everywhere to dry. That's my hallway. And my sink, you can see the light in the corner of it, in my closet. And then come around, and everything for you is mirrored because my computer is ridiculous. Dresser, above it, over there, is the only wall, how do I get that over there? Wall decor I have, and that is Gucci ad. Fabric I got at a craft store because it's pretty. That gray is like the fabric that came on the thing, and I like the contrast between the colors because it also matches the lovely pastel greens of this map of the city of London. Woo! And I have this desk. I have all my homework papers on it. I don't know if you can see any of that. Am I showing this to you? Oh, well, up there's like the thing where I always reach up and grab stuff from, that shelf. Well, that's that shelf. I have a shirt hanging off of it because it's also drying. I got some delicious bread for breakfast. Well, for breakfast and lunch, because like I said, I don't really got the time for breakfast. I got some apples too, which when I first came here, I was like, Cheyenne, you're allergic to most apples, except for apples from Pulford's Apple Tree Orchard. And so I assumed I wouldn't be able to eat apples. But then I was like, you're in a different country. Perhaps you are not allergic to apples from England. And turns out I'm not. But I've also been spoiled by the apples from Pulford's Apple Tree Orchard. So all the other apples are mushy. And at first I bought Granny Smith's, and they're pretty tart. So they were also they weren't mushy, and I was like, wow, all the apples here are just, so good, such a higher quality than I expected. No, not so much. All the apples I bought since then have not, thrown me into anaphylactic shock, but they've all been kind of, mushy is not the right word, but the texture has not been crisp, which is very disappointing, especially when you spend precious, precious money on apples that you will eat before they go terribly bad because you paid for them and you're hungry and poor, but you won't enjoy them because they're kind of mushy. And just mushy enough to be annoying, not mushy like, oh, I'm gonna pretend this is applesauce in my hand. They're just like, oh, this is so close to being a good apple. Whatever. I think I'm just spoiled. Because I buy and eat all of my apples from Pulford's Apple Tree Orchard. Other than that, I don't know. I'm really tempted to take a walk in the rain. Everything else I put in the written blog, like last night, I believe. I'm really enjoying my book by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I today was looking at the website for Harper's Bazaar because I spend all my time watching old movies and looking on like high fashion websites like Vogue's website, Harper's Bazaar, looking, oh, no, I'm not going to bore you with all my opinions, but can I just say that Lindsay Lohan's influence on the spring 2010 ready-to-wear collection for Ungaro was an absolutely hideous decision. And like I said on Twitter, it's almost as bad as the same time period collection where Marc Jacobs channeled Topanga from Boy Meets World. I don't know why. It's not 1994, and I don't want it to be. However, this is very valuable. Balmain's collection for spring 2010 is phenomenal. I encourage all of you to go look it up, or maybe someday I'll post a link to it on here, but it's definitely the most inspiring thing since maybe Gucci last year. I don't know. There's always one or two that are really good. Anyway, that's what I spend my time doing, and I ran into a reference to the Marchesa Luisa Casati. And I think I'm going to read a book about her because she seems really, really interesting and kind of how I would be if I were a redhead with way too much money and time on my hands in 1920s Venice. Because, well, maybe not all the promiscuity stuff, but, and then again, I'd probably feel bad if, if I spent money on, like, diamond-encrusted collars for my pet cheetahs. But I could definitely be an eccentric. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to enjoy my tea, try to do some homework, and continuously stare at the rain until it goes away, which it's getting lighter, but hopefully it stays for days and days and days. Alright, that's all. Ta-ta.